All right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, Saggies, because we do have like a kind of a cafe vibe, kind of a vacation vibe, I wanted to think of this as like an easygoing adventure story. So, let's just see. I've said that a couple times and it didn't turn out to be so easygoing after all, but you never know what the cards will hold. So, we start out with a Nine of Pentacles, a King of Pentacles, but we have the Seven of Swords. Hang on, before I say anything, let me. Something is definitely hidden from view here. Okay, so Four of Wands. We have a king who has a plan. That's what I thought, but I needed to see if this was going to have a negative energy. Like, we could have had somebody who acted really awesome. The whole community loves them, and it turns out they're like not awesome at all. That's why I had to get one more card. And that is indeed the card that changes everything. This character is great. This character is, yes, they have a secret plan, but is not nefarious. It is something beautiful. This is a character who's worked very, very hard. Now they may have either they're planning to travel, they've already planned a trip, they are already in town, they have very clear knowledge of why they're here, what they're doing. They just haven't revealed it to everybody else. This is, the kind of like a stalker vibe on this, just because we see this big jungle cat. But I feel like this king kind of had to do things in a certain way because they want to do things face to face. And what it is that they seem to want to do is they have either a wonderful business proposition or an actual marriage proposal. The Four of Wands is something, I mean, this is a wish, this is something they've reached for, this is super positive. Even the fact that they have not said the truth about why they're coming to town or about why they're taking time off work, they are somebody who would keep their own counsel. They're also somebody who maybe in their mind they're like, look, I have to move forward with the plan that I have in mind. This is my offer I want to make. This is my intentions. And I'm not going to reveal what I'm thinking about until I arrive, until everything is a little bit perfect. My baby, you okay? Come here, love. Um, Hang on, the baby needs a little hello. Hi, babies. Hi, babies. You're a good boy of mine. You're a good boy. Sorry, guys. Sometimes we have the dog interlude. I hope you are a fan of dogs because Aries does bust in for hugums and pets. He gets lonely when he wakes up from naps. Mama will be with you in just a minute or two, okay? We have a Four of Pentacles. This king has absolutely been, they have definitely held back all of their plans, but they've also had a lot of work to do behind the scenes. Both these cards say they have been hard at work. They have been saving money. Maybe they were going to buy a house. If this is, it feels like a very big surprise. It doesn't feel like a negative, like, ooh, I'm living this double life, this clandestine, behavior. It feels like they've been holding on, holding back. The King of Pentacles can be very, very good, especially at saving, so that then they can, invest wisely, buy something of great value. If they've been saving up to buy a house, maybe to buy a house someplace nearby, the person that they would like to marry. It, I don't know. This could be that this person is already like with Sag, or this could be somebody who wants to buy a house for Sag, or this is somebody who wants to come. They seem to want to be with Sag. Okay, we have Three of Pentacles. We have Inspiration of Cups. Wow. If this is a really big, elaborate, like, I need to tell you that I'm sorry, and they thought the best way to say I'm sorry and to really prove it and to prove that what I want is to collaborate with you is if I put every other ducky in a row, if I arrange everything, if I work really hard and I keep my head down and I get my life organized and I can show up as somebody with a plan, somebody whose life is stable. And I kind of, yes, it may be a very big surprise, but I have to prove. I have to be able to prove that what I'm saying is not just lip service. I want somebody to believe me. So I want to be able to offer something. Maybe once upon a time, this character didn't have their own place to live. Maybe once upon a time, this character, it feels like there's something about housing in all this. They have been saving up to maybe either move into their own home, move into a location so that they have a chance to really say, I want to build with Sag. I want to show them that I have serious intentions. Even if I don't expect Sag to take my hand and say yes, even if I know this is still like a far reaching concept. But there is something about springtime, because this is like a color run. There's like a festival. I've only attended one once. And it was wonderful, but a festival that comes from India. And I don't know if it's all over in India, if it's certain regions. So please, somebody fact check me. But it's like a festival of springtime, and they throw the colored packets of I don't know if it's flour, if it's dyed flour, or exactly what the powder is, but it's very, very colorful, and you're just covered in all these colors, and it's very celebratory. It's very exciting, but it almost feels like maybe springtime is when they're hoping that they could have things like on track enough. But first, they have to approach Sag. First, the intention to like build with Sag. Somebody could be an architect, or there's these plans. They want to describe the plans that they have to build a house or to build life with Sag. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of the groundwork they've already laid. Maybe it was just they needed to get personally abundant, or they've been saving for a down payment on a house. And that's one of the things that they want to present themselves as, this very whole person whose life is in order. They have a savings account, and they're saying, I want you to take me serious, Sag. I want to be with you, but I don't want to just have no direction. I want to tell you that I'm sorry, and I want to tell you that this is me being stable. This is me hoping that maybe by springtime we could be planning on where we want to live. Maybe by springtime we could be talking about buying a house. I've been saving for exactly that, because I want a stable home. This character, something about they want a home. They want to be home. My impression right now is that Sag might have walked away from this person if they were living together, but this person wasn't ever like really having a plan for the future. Okay. They were in and out of Saggy's life, or it pushed Sag to having to be in and out of their life. This could have been a long distance, or this could have been that somebody was always gone. It was like, wow, we're never really going to have like time together. We're never really going to be together. We're never really going to be home. Somebody could live or have traveled quite a bit through national parks. Maybe somebody was always gone taking, camping trips and hiking trips and all kinds of stuff. This is like beautiful rock formations. I could picture somebody also being like a photographer of natural formations. Not that anything in that is bad or negative, but I will just say this. Sag and this person never got to the point where they were really able to spend time together. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, and Sag was over it. They were done giving this person time to like plan instead of just popping in, popping out. I feel like they had incredible chemistry. I feel like this was a passionate lover with no staying power. So it's like, oh, what's that song? I know, I'll leave come morning like I've always done, but to see you tonight makes everything right. It's such a small world. Is it Roseanne Cash and I can't think right now. Sorry, it's a great song on one hand, like really catchy tune, but it's called It's Such a Small World. The thing is, it's not what Sag wanted. Sag didn't want the hit and run lover, the one hit wonder. And it was old. Sag didn't want somebody who made it feel like this is always like we play this game, we crash into each other, and then, by dawn, one of us is leaving again. I don't know why. It seems like it was such brief encounters, but Sag was over it. Yeah, Five of Wands in the reverse, really over it. Like, not even keeping this person's number in their little black book. I think Sag's whole like wolf pack was like, yeah, let that person go. I think Sag's friends group or somebody was like, you, if they haven't, settled down by now, let them go. Now that was a hard thing though, because a Sag may or may not have said this to any of their friends, but even if Sag let this person go completely, they still said, but in here, I know that they're my Two of Cups, but they're not showing up, and I'm sick to death of dealing with somebody that can't be consistent. The only thing that's consistent is there is some kind of magical bond. That's probably why this thing was able to look. I don't think Sag would have tolerated anything that they didn't truly welcome, except for somebody that was really, really, really special. So I'm thinking that Sag probably had a unique tie to this person where it's like, no, we see each other once every 3.5 months. It's great when we see each other, and then we part ways, and it's like, I know I'm going to see him again. And somehow we have this odd, distant thing, and yet they keep coming back around, and I keep letting it happen because it's the only person on earth I've ever felt that kind of a vibe with. But I don't want that anymore. I'd rather know that they're still out there on this earth, know that I still feel connected to them in the 5D, but I can't have them popping in and out of my life like this anymore. What did Sag want? What made them really cut this person out? Four of Cups, they didn't want the illusion. They didn't want the illusion. And they didn't want to be the safe haven for this person to bounce back to again and again, but never really build with. I mean, I think that's very reasonable for a character to be like, yeah, I'm not really getting much out of this other than I know we have a really wonderful bond, but I don't want to lie to myself and pretend that you're going to start really building and being there day to day with me when it seems like you come in and out of my life. Or maybe because I'm hearing that song by Elephant, and like the wind I will blow away unless you make me stay. Maybe the song is Where Is Home? I'm starting to believe that it's all gone, though I keep searching. It's very much, I think it's called Where Is Home. I love Elephant. I think this is along the lines of maybe Sag is the one who was like, well, if you don't try to make me stay, if you don't show me that you want to build something, if you don't create a space for me, then I'm only going to see you briefly and then I'm gone again. And you know what? I'm not going to pretend that you're ready to settle down with me. It could have been the reverse. It could have been that Sag is the one who was like, I don't see them trying to build with me. So if I come visit or I see them when I'm, maybe Sag is the one who travels a bunch or something. But if they're content with things being what they are, we see each other once in a blue moon, then I'm not saying Sag wanted them to be brokenhearted over them, but I think Sag says, I'm not going to hold somebody in my life who wouldn't cry if they never saw me again. Now that sounds really harsh, and I actually think that's incorrect. But I think Sag cut them off because it's like, if your life is just as good without me as with me in it, then yeah, it's been fun, it's been real fun. But that's as much as this is, even if I know that there was more of a bond. But I'm going to go ahead and move along now. The Star and the Three of Wands. This was all about, first off, this character has been jealous as all get out with the idea that Sag is going to end up with somebody else. They think everybody wants Sag, and that they could be spot on. They have those green-eyed jealousy. They have a red face because they've been saying, but I have to make transformation and I haven't been able to do it yet. And now we're at such a distance, but they felt safe for a long time. Like, I know Sag wants me and I want Sag, but in the future, that's when it's like what they were aspiring to. Someday I'll really be with Sag, but in the meantime, us apart and only crashing into each other, a couple times a year whenever we can see each other, that just keeps us tethered together. And it's, but when Sag is ready to cut them loose, they're really frustrated. And you notice that it amplified them. All of a sudden, that serpent is about change. They saw the things that they had to change and they need to do it now. I mean, it still could have taken them 3 months. Sag might not have heard anything from them in a couple months, but they have needed to make massive change in their life, as we already saw. And I think they put their head down and they started grinding. They needed to become the King of Pentacles because Sag was done giving them access. And I can see why they needed to really make the changes and then present like a massive offer. Because if they don't do that, Sag isn't gonna see any evidence of change. You're just gonna hear lip service. But man, this person's been freaking out, thinking, will I be able to get things changed before somebody else snatches Sag up? Because I know what kind of a star Sag is. They have been in panic mode over Sag being out of their life and them thinking anybody could now, it's like Sag is unprotected. They're out there in the wild. Anybody could go and, woo them. That was good. It lit a little fire in them. I was going to say under them, but actually we see the fire right inside of this high priestess. I'm here and they got the fire down below. This subconscious vibe, you know what I think this is? I think Sag knew this person is going to, as long as I enable them to still get access to me, there's no real reason for them to put their, foot on the gas pedal and accelerate in their life the way they need to change some things so that they're stable and they're ready to build. I know it's probably never going to happen as long as we're doing this song and dance where they show up passionately or I show up in their world and we have passion and then we part ways again. It's going to make this go on forever and we're never really going to get to the point of genuinely building. I think both of them knew the same thing. They both knew something's got to give, something's got to change. They both knew what the change was and they both knew nothing. We will not really be together successfully until Sag walks away and until they just put their head down and focus and get their life in order. I really think this has to do with finances. I wonder if Sag said, look, I'm not just going to move in with you unless you have, started to really focus on, your own sense of stability and responsibilities. I don't know. I kind of feel like somebody was either not really paying their way or they hadn't moved out of another location yet. And, maybe they were still living with an ex, but, like house sharing or something where they needed to get completely autonomous. And they needed to show that they actually had done those things. They needed to show Sag that I have long-term intentions with you, Sag. If anything, they're saying, I'm sorry it took me so long to just put my head down. All I needed was, a couple of months of just genuine work hard and get my act together. Boy, it was the best thing Sag ever did was to step back and give them the space to do what they had to. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Thanks so much for hanging with me, guys. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribe.